Hey guys, Metal Jesus here. Now recently I got contacted by two guys separately on Facebook, Timothy and Fred, who wanted to know if they could donate a bunch of games to my collection. That's what you see right here, these big boxes. Now as far as I know, I haven't actually gone through these yet. It's going to be a mix of big box Amiga and also MS-DOS games. All I do know, it's about 30 to 35 games, plus they say there's going to be some surprises. I don't know. Let's take a look. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. On the top of the box here, looks like we got a note from Timothy. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it, dude. Right off the top here, I'm seeing a bunch of games, man. Nothing more exciting than a box full of PC games. So, alright, so this is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Now, something interesting here is that this is an action game. You'll notice on the box there, it said action game, and that's because there was an adventure game also with the same title, so it can be kind of confusing if you're doing that. Barney Bear. Don't know what this is. Probably an educational title. Next up is a game called Oil Imperium. Now, this actually goes by another title called Black Gold. Crazy thing about this game is that you play as the head of an oil company trying to take over the entire oil industry. Man, talk about playing a villain in a game. So it's one of those kind of business strategy games. Here is an expansion pack for, looks like Test Drive 2. So this is the California Challenge. This is back in the day before DLC. You actually got DLC on physical. Here's something kind of weird. This is Rob Berry. Now, it's my understanding that this is a game where you play as a bear thief trying to rob a store. I guess it's an Amiga exclusive. Here is Batman. Now this game was made and ported to a bunch of different systems. This just happens to be the Amiga version. Now initially I was kind of confused as to what this is. This is called Thrill Time Platinum 2, I believe, by Elite. So I guess this is a collection of a bunch of other games. It's kind of like a best of sort of thing. So some of the games in here are Bomb Jack, Buggy Boy, Space Harrier, Ikari Warriors, things like that. Here's kind of an odd title. This one is called Street Cat. Now, initially, I thought this was going to be something kind of dumb, and maybe it is. It's a sports game where you play as a cat, but what's cool about it is that it was created by Rainbow Arts. Now, these guys went on to make Super Turrican, and then some of the employees went on to Factor 5. Here is the arcade version of Paperboy. This was, again, an arcade game that got ported to just about everything. Cabbage Patch Kids Picture Show. Now, one thing I notice here is that it says ColecoVision/Adam down there in the left-hand corner. So I guess he included some random ColecoVision games. Probably just had them in a box somewhere. So sure, that's cool. I don't think I have any boxed ColecoVision games. So that's kind of some of my first there. Dr. Seuss Fix Up the Mix-Up Puzzler. Oh, okay, another ColecoVision game as well. Cool. Here is Bamboozle on the Amiga. Now, this is a puzzle game. I wasn't really familiar with it, but I did some research, and it turns out it's the same developers that went on to make the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and also the Speedball series. So, kind of cool to have that in the collection. Now, check this out. This is the original Castle Wolfenstein, but in this odd packaging. I wonder if this is like a repackage or something like that. Not really sure what this is. I never had seen this before. And then check out this floppy disk. I mean, it looks like it would be a bootleg, but I don't know if it is. This might actually just be a weird version of Castle Wolfenstein. So again, kind of cool. If you know something about this, please post in the comments below. Next up is Bionic Commando by Capcom, another game that most people are very familiar with. This got ported to just about everything. Here's a 3D pool game. Not really significant other than that, you know, back in the day, there were a lot of 3D pool games being made, and this was definitely something that you saw a lot. I actually played them. I thought they were kind of cool. And here's something, I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's missing the cover or not, but it looks like it's a game called Transporter? I have no idea what this is. Again, if you are familiar with this, please let me know down in the comments. It's news to me. And speaking of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, here is the Amiga version. I don't think I've ever seen this before. So again, cool to have in the collection. Here's a game I haven't seen in a long time. That's Flight Simulator 2 by Sublogic. Now, the reason why this is kind of interesting to me is because this was a very popular flight sim back in the day. And what's cool about it is that Sierra actually ended up buying Sublogic back in 1995 and then rolling all of this into Dynamics. So it's a little bit of Sierra history for you there. All right, looks like we got another Indiana Jones game here, The Temple of Doom, again on Amiga. I assume this is an arcade port. I have no idea. Here we have Facemaker. These are weird kind of educational games back in the day. Here we have Kicks, a fantastic arcade game that I still actually like to play today. So again, it's cool to have that. Mike the Magic Dragon. I guess this is an Amiga only or Amiga exclusive fantasy platforming game. Never played it before, so I'm gonna have to check it out. And then check this out here. This is Deluxe Video. This is a video editing software, but it's from Electronic Arts. I know, who knew that a game company would make a video editing software? RoboCop, another game that was pretty much on every system back in the day. This is the Ocean version, which I believe probably did all of the PC versions. I gotta be honest, I don't know a ton about it. Oh man, here's something really cool. So, why am I so excited about a Winnie the Pooh game? Well, open the manual and check this out. You'll see that it's designed by Al Lowe. What? That sounds really familiar, right? Well, that's because Al Lowe is the famous game creator for Leisure Suit Larry, as well as Torrance Passage, and also Freddy Farkas. But he worked with Disney to do this game for Sierra, and it's a really cool piece of history. I'm so glad to have this in my collection. Here's another interesting game. This is All Dogs Go to Heaven, based on a Don Bluth movie. I guess it's a bunch of mini games. I haven't played it. Oh, and here is something really cool. Okay, this is Savage. So this is kind of an unusual fantasy game that mixes 3 different genres. So I guess it starts off as a horizontal shooter, and then it moves into a first-person 3D shooter, and then it turns into a platforming game. Now, I haven't played it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Here is Winter Games by Epix. Played a ton of this back in the day as a kid. I actually really liked this series. I don't really play a lot of sports games, but I did play those. Here is Superman, the Man of Steel. I'm laughing because there's a bunch of Superman games back in the day. Most of them were not very good. Here's another Epix game here. I didn't own, actually. Probably because it's a sports game, but it's a basketball game. All right. Vegas Gambler. I guess if I need to play a quick hand of poker, sure. Now, check this out. Look at this. This is a hockey game, but notice it's actually by Bethesda. Yes, the makers of Skyrim made a sports title. Tom and Jerry, don't know much about this game other than it's a platformer. If you played it, let me know. No idea if that's any good or not. Operation Wolf, based on the Lycan game in the arcades, came out on a bunch of different systems. Here we go. Okay, Acts of Rage. So this is a sequel to Barbarian. This is a game that I used to play back on my Commodore 64. It's a 2D fighting / arena brawler kind of game. Oh yeah, remember when they tried to turn Pac-Man into a 2D platformer? I don't know, I just never really liked this game as much as I kind of hoped to. It's okay. Oh yeah, Bad Dudes by Data East. Arcade brawler on the Amiga. Here you go. Oh, check this out. Okay, so this is the Jetsons. Now, you think this would be an arcade game, but it's not. It's an Amiga exclusive, but check this out. It's a graphic style adventure game based on the Jetsons cartoon. How weird is that? Now, here's something right up my alley. Rock and Roll. I guess it's a puzzle game? I don't know. I haven't played it before, so I'll have to check it out. Here's a game simply called Murder by US Gold. So that's an isometric adventure game. Again, another one that I haven't played before. Some random stuff here. World Tour Golf. Do kind of like golf games occasionally. Raw copy version 1.3 if you want to pirate your games. Here is a probably a version of doing that. I don't know. Huey, Super Huey, actually, the helicopter flight sim game. I believe I played that on the Commodore 64 back in the day. Oh yeah, and here's a nice little compilation. So this is a Lucasarts Adventures, The Secret of Monkey Island, Indiana Jones, Last Crusade, Loom, a classic, of course, Maniac Mansion, and Zack McCracken, all in one box. So very cool to have that in the collection. All right, next box. This one comes courtesy of Fred. All right, on top there we got a nice little Pac-Man plushie. I did not expect to see this in the box. That's gonna go nicely on the gaming couch where all my other pillows are. He's nice and soft, so my cat and dogs are probably gonna curl up with Pac-Man there. He's got a nice little note here on the top. Thank you very much, Fred. Greatly appreciate it. On the top here, he included some manuals for Gabriel Knight's Sins of the Father. Can never have too many of those because, well, they're not making them anymore, so that's cool. And then check this out. It Came from the Desert by Cinemaware. These are unlike any other games back in the day. They were so gorgeous. I'm actually going to go for a complete Cinemaware collection, and this is pretty awesome to have. Thank you very much. I didn't have this, so that's a first-person action adventure game if you're curious. And then check this out. So this is Conquest of the Longbow, The Legend of Robin Hood, a Sierra game, again, that I did not own. And this is the follow-up to Conquest of Camelot. So it's a graphic adventure game and kind of forgotten after all these years. Oh man, then another game I've been looking for. So this is Conan the Cimmerian by Virgin Games. Check out that gorgeous cover right there. Love that about big box PC games. So this is an action adventure game with RPG mixed into it. Real-time combat. I actually haven't played it. It's funny, when I first picked this up, I thought it was kind of unusually heavy. And so I opened it up and check this out. It's actually got Star Glider 2 manuals and a novella in there. And then deeper down, it actually has the Spear of Destiny, a Wolfenstein manual in there, which is pretty funny. Now, to be fair, that does happen occasionally. So if you're picking up PC games every once in a while, you find all sorts of weird stuff in there, like other manuals. Maybe you'll find some hints that people printed off, maybe some handwritten maps, stuff like that. You just never know what you're gonna get. And then here's something that was a bit of a surprise. At the bottom are all of these PSP covers and manuals. I don't know exactly why he did this, although it's kind of funny he did, because I have lately been seriously considering maybe I should go for a complete PSP collection. And actually there's several in here that I didn't have before. So, you know, my PSP collection is about 240 games at this point. And so, you know, going for a complete collection is a possibility. So it's kind of funny he did this. He had no idea. So there you go, guys. There are some games that were donated to my collection by Timothy and Fred. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for doing that. You were awesome. Basically, both of them just had me pay for shipping, which I was glad to do. And these games have landed in a good place. I kind of feel like I'm a guy who is trying to archive all these big box PC games, you know? Somebody's got to do it, and I'm going to do that. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.